This week on Rockstar Superhero. When I say the name Udo Dirkschneider, what do you envision? I would think your brain might automatically take you to the early 1980s when his iconic West German metal band Accept ruled the charts with the classic Balls to the Wall. Like you, I go there too because, well, this was a moment that you don't forget. I've kept an eye on him over the years and watched his legend grow along with his never-ending passion for entertaining his audience. He's the biggest and brightest from a generation of musicians that have sadly died off or retired. When I mentioned the word retirement around Udo, not on your life. His new album, My Way, is a collection of cover songs pinpointing moments in Udo's life that he, in turn, thought we might also enjoy. Whether it's Queen, Tina Turner, Frank Sinatra, or Billy Squire, Udo has it covered. So, please enjoy my chat with a wonderful, kind, bear hug of a man. This is Udo Dirkschneider, and this is Rockstar Superhero. How did you handle life when things weren't going so well in your career? You know, the ups and downs of being a rock star. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, first you mentioned rock star. I never saw me as a rock star. You know, I always tried to be a normal person, and then I'm not sitting here with sunglasses and leather jacket and all that stuff. You know, for me it was important to be down on earth, you know, and not like, okay, hello, you know, I'm famous and blah blah blah, all that stuff. That's not my style. Right. And I mean, to handle everything is, of course, you have always in a music business, call it music business, ups and downs. You know, you had good times, you had bad times. For example, in the beginning of the 90s, when I did a reunion with Accept, there was grunge music really popular, you know, and it was not like really, the people was not really into this, what we call now classic heavy metal. Mm-hmm. And but, you know, you had to stay to your roots, you know, and then say, I don't want to change my style or whatever. I want to keep going on. And I think it's also, I can say, important that you believe in yourself, you know, to say, okay, that's what I'm doing. It's my way.
I get that, Reed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to do this I want to do it like this. And for me, in the end, it worked out. You know, I'm still here after I don't know how many years, over 40 years, still doing stuff, a lot of stuff. I mean, I did in the last 2 years, and I mean, if you do your own thing, you know, and believe what you're doing, I think you're on the right way. Let's say it this way.
Yeah. I never got the sensation that you were ever trying to be a rock star or to be a celebrity. And I think that's what has always drawn me to you, because what you said is absolutely true. I recognized as a fan that you were for real, that you meant what you said. When you were on stage, you were there for that music, and you were there to entertain me, the audience.
That's the most important thing. Entertain. That's what we are doing. We entertain people, you know.
How does it feel to be back really solidly in the public eye again? Is that a good thing for you?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, you know, for me, it was good to have all the Eastern countries, you know. Mm-hmm. I know in America it was a couple of years not touring in America, you know, there was nobody really interested in heavy metal. You know. There was a scene, but not for promoters to say, okay, we do a 2 months tour or whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. So for me, the Eastern countries was, helpful, you know. I mean, U.D.O. is, you know me, I'm not like, hello, blah, quite big in Russia, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, also in Ukraine, also in Czech Republic, Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, all these countries, you know. And that was for me, okay, then I said, America is a problem at the moment. So then, okay, maybe one day we can go back. And then it was like this, we came back, was not playing big halls or whatever, or big theaters, it was clubs, sometimes from 400 until over 1,000. But I saw, okay, if you start continually working in America, it works, So not then the pandemic came.
Yeah.
And now then we had to move to American tour. Everything was already like, yes, Yeah. And but I mean, so we are definitely coming to America next year, beginning of next year. They're working on it. And so, maybe I was lucky, that I have at this time then in America, Canada, also South America was a little bit not so easy, For me, it was maybe lucky. I was lucky to have all these Eastern countries, who can tour a lot. And okay, the rest of Europe was always good for us. I mean, Scandinavia, Germany, Spain, France, whatever, it was always good. So I mean, that is also, sometimes you need some luck, sometimes that's the thing, And I mean, I was but it's also like people asking me, Paul, in the 80s you're playing really big arenas and this and this and that. Yes, but these days are over. I'm not Iron Man, I'm not Guns N' Roses, I'm not AC/DC, I'm not Judas Priest. Also, they are not always playing in big arenas anymore. I know that. And I mean, but I'm happy if we can do a tour, let's say 1,500 people, sometimes 2,000 people. It's okay, You have to say, okay, the old days are over. And that's it, And then if you do some festivals, for example, Wacken, you play in front of 80,000 people. It's like, and the good thing is that when you was doing in the old days the big venues, and all that stuff, you can handle big arenas or big festivals, you know exactly what you have to do. But really, I really like more to play in clubs, smaller clubs, like around 1,000 people, 1,500 people, maybe 2,000. It's more like, for me, it's more rock and roll, Really. It's just like, people right here.
It's intimate. We get right up there in the sweat, right up there in all the noise, right?
Yes. So that's what I like.
You became famous before the Berlin Wall was pulled down.
Yeah.
And so was Accept and your career, because I don't want to just talk about Accept, but were you treated fairly by Eastern Bloc countries at that time, or did that open up after the Berlin Wall came down?
It opened up after the Berlin Wall was going down. But gotcha. I know that, I mean, I had some family in East Germany, also in Berlin. The whole, from my mother's side, the whole family is coming from Berlin, And I knew that Accept at this time was really, really big in the Eastern countries already, It was like, when I came there the first time, that was not with Accept, that was with U.D.O, it was like, people was like, wow, it's like, ooh. So, I mean, that was very interesting to see, what was behind the curtain, the Iron Curtain, and but before, that was only possible to do the West Germany, and that's it,
Right.
Yeah, but then after that,
you like a whole new audience.
Yeah, definitely.
And that audience remains today.
Yeah,
so great.
That's great,
Yeah. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember the first tour what I did in Russia. That was not in Russia. That was in Kazakhstan, Almaty, and I said to the promoter, "You are sure U.D.O is going to Almaty, Kazakhstan? Is there maybe somebody who knows me or whatever?" You cannot imagine That was unbelievable. It's one of the concerts I really remember,
Yeah.
The whole theater was a huge theater. After our show, it was completely destroyed, like in the old days, like the Rolling Stones or Beatles, I have some pictures somewhere. Unbelievable. They go nuts there, It was like, okay, I'm RT Kazakhstan, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting things in my career, So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. It's pretty clear you're a good man. I think I can tell anyway.
Okay.
Well, okay. So My Way, the new album, it comes out. It comes out on April 22nd, from what I've read.
Yeah.
And so I love the idea of bringing the U.D.O stylings to these classic songs. It seems to me that you've always been a guy that loves to collaborate with diverse lists of artists. Is this true?
Yeah, but I mean, on this album, let's say it was not planned to do a cover album in the first place. It was always like, oh, cover album, it's very critical. Do some cover versions of, let's say, well-known songs and blah blah blah. And then we had, I don't know, that was just for fun in a way. In the studio, we did something else, and then Peter Walters, he was in the studio, and was working with Stefan Kaufmann on his solo album. And then he said, always we want to make a cover version of Faith Healer of Alex Harvey.
Oh, yeah.
I said, yeah, that's right. And I said, yeah, come on, we do this. We start working on that. Yeah, I don't know. And then, he was arranging the song a little bit different, make it a little bit harder, more heavy, and then I was singing on there, and then it turns out very good, I was like, wow, yeah, that's good, not bad. So, and then my producer, my long-term producer, he was listening to that and he said, hey, well, just for fun, make a list. Which songs do you think you want to do a cover version? Well, nice. I said, yeah, sure. Yeah, I said, okay, I'll make a list. So, and then the list what I made was songs I was listening to in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. It's not like songs that inspired me to make music or was important for my vocal style or whatever, There was just songs, I like the songs, Mm-hmm. So, and then we did another cover version, and he was arranging already. He had a guy, he was arranging the song a little bit different. I cannot remember which one it was. I think that was... no, I cannot remember what.
It's okay.
So it doesn't matter. So and then we found out that works very well. And then we said, can we imagine maybe to do a cover album? And I said, yeah, okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No problem. Let's start. And I think the most important thing was why we did it. We saw that I can put my own character on this song,
Mm-hmm.
Arranging them a little bit different, make them sometimes a little bit harder than they normally are. And then in the end, I think the whole result of the whole album is like that I have my own character on this song.
Yes.
That's what I think the most important thing, I mean, I cannot sing like Freddie Mercury. Can be a little bit shaky if I do this.
Yeah.
Or like Klaus Meiner or whatever,
Yeah.
I mean, so, and and then in the end, we said, yeah, okay, let's do it. We asked the record company, what you think about a cover album? They was listening to some songs and they said, wow, yeah, great, let's do it.
I've listened to it, of course. I'm fortunate to have heard it. And The Stroke, for example, the Billy Squire song, I love that song. So like you, it's one of those songs I was listening to in 1981.
Yeah.
And what I love about your version, without giving it away, because we have to have the audience go out and buy this record, is that it drives. It doesn't have it doesn't drag. I'm not knocking the original, but it doesn't drag. The original kind of drags a little, and your version is just a straightforward attack, and it's so great. I love it so much. So congratulations.
Thank you. But a lot of people was asking Billy Squire, the song. I said, I like that song. It's a great song, And then so here we go.
Yeah. So you're telling me these aren't influences, these are homages. These are songs you were listening to, stuff on the radio, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, we had at this time, there was a radio station from England, BBC, blah, 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 I don't know. Mm-hmm. I was always like, had my cassette in there, was sitting next to the radio, and now when the hour came, I was like pushing the button, And then you hear all these songs, and then there was for a long, long time, but then they stopped. I don't know. A lot of things are stuck then, after a while. Yeah, and that was like, really was like a fan, was like, wow, great song, So, but and for me, it's like, how can I say this? It's a gift to that I did these songs I like, as a person. So, and I give it, my own style, my own character, but still other songs, and that was like, here we go. You did it.
Yeah. You've actually given a gift to yourself, right? Because you've treated us to something that we love. We don't even know we love it necessarily, but because of your passion, we find, so this guy's creating a new version of something I've heard. He's bringing a different flavor. He's bringing that U.D.O. style and sound and aggression. And I think it's a fantastic trick. And I want to say it that way because it's not something people do. So congratulations.
Yeah, that was the same thing. It's another example. I mean, when I did this VR1 album with the German Army Forces Orchestra,
right.
Everybody said, Udo is also doing a classic album. Nobody needs that,
Yeah.
And then the album came out. And everybody said, what is this?
Oh, yeah.
This is like different. I said, this is different. I know.
Yeah.
Talking with Stefan Kaufmann, I don't know, for 20 years that we want to do something with an orchestra. Wow. We was trying with this orchestra from Germany and from Czech Republic and so on and on. With all these violins and all that stuff. It was like, it's nice, but then you can do only, in a way, in my opinion, ballads, nicer songs and stuff like that, And then for some reason I did the Steelhammer album, and the producer was still in this military orchestra, Mm-hmm. And then it was nearly Christmas. We was mixing the Steelhammer album. And they said, we have a concert. And then we said, we are coming. Okay, want to listen to that? And he said, you are really sure you want to do that? I said, come on. We have nothing to do. We want to listen to that.
Sure.
And I didn't know what I expect, what kind of music they are doing. So, and they're only brass stuff, no violins. It's really like trumpets and saxophone and really, really heavy stuff. I was sitting, it was in a church, I was sitting there, and then they start playing songs like ABBA, Michael Jackson, I don't know. And the sound was like, I said, that's it.
Yeah.
That is definitely the sound, and then the whole thing starts, So, and that was like also, I think, a surprise for a lot of people, when the album came out. And it was a lot of work. It took 1 year to make this album, I mean, wow. But in the end, I think there are great songs on, and I like it very much.
Yeah. Well, you continue to break ground. I mean, when you get down to it, you have the courage to do something nobody's doing. I mean, you're wielding, again, your classic, your voice, I don't want to use the term celebrity, but, the people know who you are, certainly. Yeah. And to go out and to do this is such is such an opposite approach to traditional, right? The whole music business in general, like, because people are saying, well, you're not going to make any money because you don't own the publishing rights, all this stupid crap. And they don't realize other ways to establish yourself in this business.
Yeah, I mean, for example, on this cover album, I don't have any publishing money or whatever. I didn't wrote the songs, and
right.
So I don't care about this, if that makes money or not. Maybe okay for the record company, hopefully, and but it's like, yeah, I think I did so many things, I have a huge back catalog and everything. I'm not really looking for money with this cover album,
right.
It's like, I want to do it, and I did it.
What was the first song you knew you had to do? You wrote out this list and you said, no matter what, that song has to be on this album. What was that?
That was definitely Face Healer of Alex Harvey. Then definitely Painted Black. That was also a favorite for me. And also Not the City Limits of Tina Turner.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a huge Tina Turner fan, Also, I was a fan already when I get Ina Turner, River Deep Mountain High, Proud Mary, all that stuff,
Yeah.
And that was definitely this one, and then Painted Black. And definitely there was also the Scorpion song, He's a Woman, She's a Man,
Yeah. That's a great one.
It's a really old one,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that was definitely some stuff I want to do. And of course, No Class of Motorhead, one of my favorite of Motorhead. It's like,
yeah,
I have to do this. Yeah, so in a way, let's say, nearly every song, it's like I want to do these songs, It's like also from Sweet Hellraiser.
Yes.
Yeah, I was also Stephen Kaufman and me was huge. We were still huge Sweet friends, So yeah, there was some stuff you really want to do this, and yeah.
You're singing in German for the first time on a record.
Yeah.
And so tell us about that experience. What was the reason you chose to do that, and why that song?
This song, I heard this song in the beginning of 2002. I think the song was played on radio.
Right.
And the lyrics are definitely reflecting my whole career. The bad times, the good times, don't look back. There is no way back. Always look for the future, Maybe there are things... maybe better you didn't see that, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't want to go deeper,
Yeah.
It's like the whole career about this lyrics, So, and when I was making the list, I was listening to the song a couple of times, during the years. And then I said, I want to do this song, But the plan was to translate the German lyrics into English, and then we start doing this, and then we have a guy. He's an English guy, and he start translating all that stuff really, in proper English. And then he said to me, Udo, the sense is gone. The German sense is gone,
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, yeah, okay. Then I said, okay, come on. I tried to sing in German. Mm-hmm. For the first time ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And really, that was the heaviest vocal session what I had on this album. I thought, okay, mother language, easy singing, no problem. Yeah, it was a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, to sing in German and get the sense right, speak out the words in a good way, that the sense is the meaning is there. Was not easy, I mean, okay, but I think in the end, it worked. It was also learning by doing,
Yeah.
Okay, we do it, and then in the end it works, And the lyrics are fits perfectly, And now, the video is just out today.
Oh,
and
good.
Yeah, the video is just out since this morning for this German song, and all the people say, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, what?
Oh man, I'm going to go check it out. Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's a nice video, nice atmosphere, and it fits definitely to the lyrics. And so wow. I mean, that was also a good thing, And already some people came up, maybe on the next U.D.O album you put some German songs. I said, I'm not sure, Never. Yeah. Okay, I always say never, but. At the moment, I don't think so. To do something like that,
Well, the German language is so intense. There's no language that sounds like German except German.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, another language for me, it was also very hard to sing. I did a lot of stuff in Russian,
Yeah.
When I did this the first time, it was really like something, not easy. But also, it was also interesting. And I'm happy with the whole album. I think everything turns out very well. And so we will see what the people think when the album coming out. And but so far, the reaction on We Will Rock You.
Yes.
Unbelievable. People like, what?
Yeah. I actually posted it on my business page and my Facebook page, and I had a number of people respond to it. They're like, what? I can't believe, one, he's back, which is awesome. And two, they didn't expect that particular cover. And I don't remember what I said, but I said something like, check this janitor out. Like he's the best, like the most rock and roll janitor ever. and it was you. So I loved it. The Game Over Tour, that's coming up in October in the fall, right? Or in the fall this year.
Yeah, we now we start in June. We start South America. We do South America, and then we do a lot of festivals over the summer. Gotcha. And then the European tour starts on the 1st of September.
Okay.
And there's one thing in between. Normally in October was planned another Russian tour and Ukraine tour, but
not right now.
This is cancelled. No, definitely not. I'm not going to Russia. And and then we continue in November, in December, beginning of December with Europe. And then, of course, we have to do also the American tour. That was already announced. Now they are working on dates and for the America and Canada in the beginning of next year. Japan is calling.
You're huge again. It's awesome. This is awesome.
I mean, it's good. I still can tour the world in a way, nearly the whole world.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense to sit home and drinking coffee, and like, hello.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Can get coffee in all the great cafes around the world now. So
yes, that's true.
Well, look, thank you so much for being here today. This has absolutely been a pleasure, and I hope you can find a way to come through Seattle, because I will be front and center, my friend.
Okay, see you there then.